Welcome back to another tier list. This tier list is about the Premier League clubs that are in the Premier League from 2019 to 2020. Obviously, I could be a bit biased to the clubs, but this is clubs that I like to watch. And obviously, even if I support the club, I'm still gonna try and not be biased. You might think I'm going to be biased because where I place the club I support is going to be, but I do think this isn't just about what I thought of them this year. This is what I think about them all together. Actually, do you know what? I've seen people rank. No, I will do it all together, and then I'll also show you what I think clubs are ranked now. So first off, we got Brighton. I dislike them. I don't hate them as a club, but I dislike them because I think they just play really boring football. I mean, I've seen these guys live, and I went up with my friend because he wanted to go see Arsenal play. And oh my god, Brighton were the most boring team I've ever seen play football live. Literally, I felt I might as well fallen asleep. That game was 2-0 to Arsenal, so it was 2 goals, but not gonna lie, I've seen 0-0 games that were more exciting. And it was just the way that Brighton were playing. It was so boring. It was so dire. Never been so bored in my life watching a football game. Crystal Palace. I'm actually going to change these bottom ones. Hate or boring. So I'm going to put Brighton down there. This is a decent, but not great. Crystal Palace, I definitely think are decent, but they're not great. They're very good at taking points from those top teams. They're a team that always play decently normally, but they're never throughout the season, they're never consistently good. I think they've got some good players, and Zaha, how he's still there is unreal, because he is very good. On the ball, there's not many better players than Zaha in the Prem. But yeah, they're a really good team, and I think some of the games I've seen, I remember, I think it was United against Crystal Palace, and they were in the lead 2-0, and United pulled it back 3. And that is one of the best games I've seen. And Crystal Palace were amazing. They deserved to win that game. It's just they had a bad last few minutes. But yeah, I think Crystal Palace are decent. Southampton, I think they're decent, but I wouldn't say great. Not that long ago. Well, I'll let you know after this. But at no, I think they're decent but not great, and that's this is what I think all the time they've been in the Prem, not just this season. But I think they're decent but not great. Liverpool, there's gonna be 3 teams that I have up here, and there's a reason for these 3 teams being up here. And they've all got different reasons. Liverpool, you cannot I think this season, definitely top notch, but I think altogether, I would say they were probably still top notch, because you can't look over for a Premier League team winning the Champions League the amount of times they have. Yes, they've never won the Prem, but they are. You would consider them as a top notch team. like their team at the moment is ridiculous. Yeah, they went through a stage where they weren't that great, but um, they were always considered like one of the best teams there. Um, see, actually, I don't know. I would like to add another tier list, really, but what can I do here? Add row above, there we go. Top notch, and then GOAT. I think Liverpool are a top notch team. I think for them to be GOAT, they need to win a few more Premier Leagues. Um, and that's just my opinion. Like, I don't think you can be considered, like, in Europe, yeah, they probably are one of the GOAT teams. Um, but I don't think you can be considered a like Premier League GOAT team until you've won the Premier League a few times. Um, Man City, even though they've never won the Champions League, I think, in my opinion, I would put GOAT because there's not a team out there that looks such a dominant squad over like Man City. Yes, there's a lot of problems on that at that team right now. Um, but and yes, they've done it with like money. Like if they didn't have that money, they wouldn't be in the place they are right now. But you cannot say that they're not like. If you were going to go against any team in the Premier League, as in yourself, Man City would be the one team you would really not want to come against. Because their team right now is unbelievable. Like the fact that on their bench they can have players like Sane, Mahrez, like it's ridiculous. Like they're first team players for most teams. But yeah, they are, in my opinion, a GOAT team, and like it's not just about now. I think in the future they're still going to be winning stuff. I don't. Yes, they don't have much history behind them, but they're creating a lot of history right now. Um, and they also have like one of the most iconic memories in the Premier League, that like Balotelli to Aguero moment. Obviously, it's not about moments, because if it was about moments, like any of these teams could be up there. But yeah, they're such a good team overall. Like, and they have to be a GOAT team in my opinion. Um, like the reason why I put Liverpool a bit lower is because overall for a Premier League club, I can't put you in GOAT unless if you've won the Premier League. Um, Obviously, after this season they've won it, because I'll be shocked if they lose it. But like like in my opinion, I would say you need to win it at least 3 times before you can be considered GOAT Premier League team. Norwich City, I don't really like. They're just that team that comes up and down, isn't it? Like nothing good, nothing amazing, but they're consistently coming up into the Premier League. So West Ham, I think they're decent, but not great. I wouldn't say they've got nice football, um, but they could be a team that have they do vary around these. Um, like sometimes they're down here. At the moment, I consider them down here. Um, Sometimes they're here, like in this mid tier, and then sometimes they're up here. Like that Payet season, they were there. Um, but now I think they're down here. I think they're losing a lot of their play style. Like they need someone like Payet to take it on their hands. Like they were hoping Lanzini was probably going to be that player, but yes, he's had a lot of injuries. To be fair to him, but like Payet was unreal when he was there. Um, Aston Villa, I'm gonna say like because of their history, they've always been that like mid-range team. Never amazing, never great, never been like terrible. Yes, they've been relegated. And they've not had a good season this year, but overall for a Premier League club, I think they are decent. For that as well, I think Southampton have to go up there. Because, like, yeah, like, the years where Southampton had, like, Mane, they would always bring out good players, but they were never, like, quite there. They always, like, had that good few players, but never had the, like, never took it any further, really. Everton, definitely a team that are nearly there. They're always that team that are, like, consistently around, like, 7th place, like, just outside of everything. Um, and they do have a good team, to be fair. I just think they haven't found, like, in my opinion, they don't know how they play. Like, you look at their team and they're like, you don't know really if they're a possession team, if they're a counter-attacking team. Don't know. And they seem to buy, like, oh yeah, we'll buy a bunch of wingers because that's our play style. And then it's like, oh no, it's not our play style. We'll buy a bunch of, like, centre attacking mids because that's our play style. Just doesn't seem like they don't seem to get it right really. But they're always up there and they'll always be like a nearly there team for me. Manchester United, the team I support. I don't know how you can do a Premier League tier list without having Manchester United in it. Like, won the most Premier Leagues. Were also like a ridiculous team. Um, and like even now, like yes, we've had a few bad seasons, but you look at what we've won in those few bad seasons compared to a lot of the other teams, we've still won quite a lot. Like, we had that season under Mourinho where we won the Europa League, the Community Shield, and we also won the FA Cup. Like, that's 3 trophies more than like most teams have won. Like, Liverpool, they've always been good, and they won the Champions League last year, which admittedly is better than all 3 of those trophies we won. But that's like the only thing they've really won since. Like, they don't tend to win a lot. That's their problem. That's why I call them a top-notch team. They're not quite yet to a GOAT because they don't get to that stage where they're winning them. But yeah, I think United, like, United at the moment, with their history, and even like, yeah, we've been through a bad stage since Ferguson left. Like, we haven't found ourselves. I think we're gonna get there soon. I just think we're still like, I love Solskjaer and like I'm quite happy to give him time, but I do. Part of me does feel like we need another manager to get us back to that level. Um, but we just haven't found it yet, and we're trying to find us again. And I think the problem why we haven't found us is because of the boards and that around us. Like, lost Ferguson, we also had Ed Woodward taken in charge, and like, he spends out money, but he's not very good at it. Um, and like, I just think we need a bit more like stableness at the club. Really, I think we're getting to a good place, and like, looking at our team now is like we brought in Bruno Fernandes. He looks amazing. We've got young stars like Rashford coming up, and not gonna lie, like, I don't think anyone's seen the best of Rashford yet. Like, everyone goes, "Oh, Martial's better than Rashford," but I don't think he is. I think Rashford's gonna outshine like most people in the squad. Um, I just think he's still really young, and he hasn't. I don't think he's learned his full ability yet. He's got that ability, but he hasn't learned it. And then we got youngsters like Greenwood. Greenwood came up this season, and I think in all competitions he scored 17 goals for us, which is crazy for someone his age. Um, and especially his first season in Premier League, like, it's crazy. But yeah, I think there are still a few players that we need to get rid of. Like, look at players like Lingard. Like, he would do anything for the club, but he's he's not that United quality really. Like when you, I know like yes, at the moment he probably is, but when you consider like what we would class where United want to be, he's not at that top level quality. Um, but yeah, Sheffield United. Um, I can't put them up here because I've only really seen one season out of them, and yes, technically they would be here with this season, but I'm gonna put like nice football, but they're not great on paper. Like one of the worst teams, but they have done really well, um, and they have to go down as nice football. Like they've been really solid, and the fact that they're in a chance of like, I'm pretty sure they're in a chance of getting Europa League if I'm right. We'll have a look. So where are they? Yeah, so in seventh place. So all they have to do really is win. If they won 2 games and then we lost, like these guys lost, then they would be in Europa League, which is crazy. Like on paper, no one thought they had a chance, but they have been really good. Um, and I do think they play some nice football every now and then. Um, Burnley, they're a decent team, but they're a boring team. Like they're always that team that just like somehow, I don't know how, but they normally avoid relegation. Um, and like you just don't see anything from that Burnley team. Like you see a couple of good centre backs, but that's about it. But yeah, like I just don't see anything in that Burnley team. Like it's not a player where I'm like, wow. There's not like it's just I don't know. They're that team that they look like they all play together as a team, and that's why they're here. But realistically, they're not like anywhere near any of the other teams. Chelsea, I'm going to say they're a top-notch team, just like Liverpool. Um, they do have a few Premier Leagues. They do have they have everything to their name. There's just something that's holding them back, in my opinion. Like in my opinion, Chelsea have more reason to be up here than Liverpool right now. Um, but they've always been like they're a team that's scared to play, but they're never they've never had that like, oh god, it's like Man City we're playing this weekend, or it's Manchester United. Like even Manchester United now still go, oh, it's Manchester United, it's a massive game. Um, but yeah, I don't know. There's just something about them. Like I think what Frank Lampard's doing is amazing. I think he's got a good team there, and he's going to do well with them. I'm pretty sure. Like the fact that he didn't have any transfers, he's never really managed a team properly other than Derby, and that was in the Championship. Plus, it was like his first ever job. I think he's doing really well there. Um, Bournemouth, I think Bournemouth have really nice football, but they're just not great. Um, like I think Eddie Howe is a really good manager, and I think if you took him to the right job, like personally, I think if he took the Arsenal job, they would do amazing under Eddie Howe. But like, I feel sorry for him because he's never had any funds really to back him. He's never had that team to go like, wow, like look at them. Like, take him to a bigger team like Arsenal, maybe even Leicester. Um, I'd say even something like, I don't know, like, I wouldn't say United because his style of play, I don't know if it would suit us. I mean, it might actually, no, I would say it could suit us. But yeah, like, there's just something like about Bournemouth that's stopping them. Arsenal, um, I think I have to put them go because when you talk about Premier League, you talk about the two biggest teams. There was always like that Manchester United Arsenal talk. Um, Arsenal always that team that just finished below, and they did have the invincible season. That doesn't give them the right to have it up here because one season doesn't prove it. But they're always like, even through their bad stages, they're still always up there, and they were like, they became that mean team of, oh yeah, fourth place for the Champions League, um, and like they've never really been outside that spot. But I like me personally, I would put them as a GOAT team. Right now, I would say they're probably about like a nearly there team, but they have to be down as a GOAT team overall. Leicester City, for me, nearly there. I think again they're above Everton, like definitely a better team. Nearly at top notch. Like they won the Premier League, um, but they just haven't been doing it for long enough, in my opinion. But yeah, they like I personally, for me, right now, like Leicester are one of the best teams out there for what they've got as well and what the funds they have compared to the other teams. Like Leicester almost deserve to be GOAT for that. Like Watford, I think are decent but not great. Like they've got some good like players in there. Just they've never had that squad where I'm like, wow, like I'm scared to play them. Like Newcastle, I think Newcastle deserve this spot. Like nice football, but they're not amazing. They're not great. Um, they do seem to always keep around the Premier League. And they like normally do all right. They normally play good football, but like you wouldn't be shocked if they got relegated. That's my opinion on them. Spurs again. In my opinion, they're nearly their team. They haven't really won anything. That's my problem with Spurs. I can't put them top notch at the moment. Like they definitely on paper are a top notch team, but overall as a club, I don't think you can put someone top notch if they haven't really won anything. Um, and yeah, I don't know about them. Like there's something about them. Like I would say like if I was ranking these, like Leicester at the moment better, but Tottenham are a better team. But yeah, finally but not least, Wolves. Wolves are definitely a nearly there. Like they're such a they look such a unit of a team, and like Wolves are a team that I come up against Everton, I'm not that scared. Come up against Leicester, and I know they could pour assault, but I'm not like that bothered. But Wolves, for some reason, are that team where I'm like not looking forward to this. Like I could easily see them taking points from us. Um, but yeah, like I think they're a really good team. Um, like the players they bring in as well. Like who would have thought like a just newly Premiership team brought in like the likes of John Moutinho, Rui Patricio, and like they're just bringing in like decent players that, and they're bringing out like players that we've never heard of but look amazing, like Jota and stuff like that. But yeah, anyway, that's the what I rate the Premier League clubs. I know there's always going to be different opinions on this, but that's where I would put them all. And like there are arguments that Liverpool deserve to be there. There are arguments that Chelsea deserve to be in that tier. But that's my opinion. Let me know what you guys put, and that's my tier list. And I'll be doing a lot more of these, but make sure you like the video and also subscribe.